Yes, sir.
How do you know Mandrell?
A friend.
Is he a good friend of yours?
Yeah.
How about Quentin Ryder?
A friend.
And did you know Chandra Beth and Chandra Beth and their mama Belinda Willem?
Yes, sir.
Now, did you know before March of 2011 really know or hear of Jadon Brooks?
Nah, I don't know, but I heard the name around.
How about Amar Ray? Did you hear his name or know of him at all prior to his death?
I heard the name, but I don't know.
And Jamie Hood, the defendant here, did you know him prior to March of 2011?
Yeah, he was my little nephew football coach.
Now, let me ask you about that Thursday, March 11th, 2011, when all this was happening. Prior to that, did you know something or hear something about the officers being shot? Did you know anything about that before that day?
Not really. I had no told I really don't want to testify. I won't come in here and ask you a question, but I ain't really testifying.
I got you. But basically, at that time, did you know anything about hearing about the officers being shot?
I heard about it, seen it on the news, and you know how the streets talk, that's all I did hear about it.
That's what I wanted to know.
All right.
Now, let me go back to that Thursday, March 11th, 2000, and March 24th, 2011. You remember basically...
I got an objection. Could he clarify what this man is talking about? He don't want to testify. If he gonna force him, how we gonna do it? He said he don't want to testify. So what do you mean by he don't want to testify?
You'll be able to cross-examine him over time. Jesus asking questions. Continue.
Let me go back to Thursday, March 11th, March 24th, 2011. You recall basically at that time going over to Mandrell's house on that day.
Yeah.
You got to sit up straight and face the jury, please.
You need to be about that far away from the microphone.
You know where Mandrell and Chandra was living at that time over Creekstone?
Yeah.
So yes.
Yes, sir.
And at that time on that day, did you wind up going over there at some point?
Yeah, I did.
And tell us what happened when you went over there.
Tell you what happened.
Yes, sir.
Look, I ain't trying to be rude or nothing, but me and you already done had the conversation. I told you I don't want to testify up here.
And I told you you had to testify, didn't you?
I'm saying, but I don't want to.
Answer the question.
What?
Answer this question.
I'm saying, yeah, I was over there.
How was it you happened to get over there?
Mandrell County.
And you know about what time that was?
I can't recall. It's been so long ago.
And when you got over there, tell us who was there.
Everybody use their name in German.
Well, tell us who that was.
Matt, Shay.
All right, speak up a little bit.
Matt, Shay, G. Matt, Shay, G. Zyla, Michaela. Shay, Mama, and her stepdad.
And who's Matt?
Mandrell.
And Shay, is that Chandra Beth?
Yeah.
And Jig, is that Quentin Ryden?
Yes, sir.
And Chandra, was she over there?
Yes, sir.
And you said Michaela and Zion, were they over there?
Yes, sir.
And at the time you got over there, did you see Belinda Willem?
Yes, sir.
And did you see also Ronaldo Billups? Was he there when you got there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when you got there, you said you saw the defendant, Jamie Hood. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And did you see him when you walked in the door?
Yes, sir.
And what did you see when you walked in the door?
Him, Jig, and Matt in the living room.
Did you wind up seeing a gun at some point while you were over there?
See, I ain't trying to be rude to the court, but I'm sitting right here telling you I don't want to testify. You making me testify now. I know I got some type of right.
I'm instructing you to answer the question.
All right, check y'all. You got the fifth amendment right to remain silent. What y'all doing here? The man don't want to testify. Y'all gonna force him to lie on this? Something that you're doing, Ken Law?
Your Honor,
Have a seat, sir.
the defendant, Jamie Hood, have a gun when you walked in there?
Yeah, I did see a gun.
What did it look like?
Chrome and black or something. It was chrome and black or something. It was one on, you know, it's been so long ago I can't remember, but I remember seeing a gun.
And at some point that evening, did you wind up leaving?
Yes, sir.
How did you wind up leaving?
I made my father ring. I told him my sister got to fight him. And he told
You
me,
have to speak up, if you will, Mr. Lumpkin.
my sister got to fight him downtown. He told me I can go check on him.
You got a phone call?
Yeah.
Was that from your sister?
No, I didn't make my phone ring.
You made your phone ring.
Yeah.
And what did you tell the defendant, Jamie Hood, after you made your phone ring?
That my sister got to fight downtown.
And based on that, what did you ask to do, or what happened?
I told him I was going to go check on him. And he was like, all right, whatever. You know, they don't do nothing crazy or whatever.
He said what?
He was like, all right, whatever, you know, they don't do nothing crazy or whatever, you know.
What else did he say? Don't do nothing crazy.
He just told him don't do nothing crazy, they come on back. And after I check on him.
He said what?
They don't do nothing crazy, they come on back after I check on him.
What did you mean, don't do nothing crazy? What did you take that to mean?
Don't do nothing crazy.
What did you take that to mean, Mr. Lumpkin?
I object to it like he told me. That's what he told me, speculation. Did he tell you the same thing? That's speculation.
I'm asking him what he took it to mean. That's not speculation. What did you take that to mean, Mr. Lumpkin?
Come back.
What did you take the words "don't do nothing crazy" to mean?
Ask an answer, Judge. I object. Ask an answer. He said come back. I object. Ask an answer.
I haven't heard the answer.
Well, he just said come back. He answered his question. So I object. Ask an answer.
Yes, sir.
Ask another question, I'll provide the objection.
Did you come back? Did you leave and come back?
The next day. The next day.
When you came back the next day, who was there at the apartment? Everybody else?
Yeah. Yeah, everybody was there the next day when I came back.
And was the defendant still there?
Yeah.
Do you still have a gun?
Yeah, the same way.
I didn't understand you.
Yeah.
Answer yes or no.
Yes. Saying you catching an attitude, man. I told you I ain't want to do that. Like you forced me
Instruct
to
the
do that.
witness to answer the question.
Really?
Answer the question.
Yes.
And at some point, did you wind up leaving there?
I told you I came back, so I did leave.
After you came back, did you leave there?
Yeah, I left out the door again after I came back.
Tell the jury how it was that you wound up leaving.
They let the dog out to use the bathroom. They had him reported missing. So I think he finna use the bathroom. I just slipped out the door.
Which door did you slip out?
The front door.
What did you do after you slipped out the front door?
I left.
You left in your car?
Yeah.
But where did you go at that time?
I just circled the block.
What did you do when you circled the block?
Circled the block and I told me to put the kids out the window.
How did you do that?
Called him.
You called Mandrell?
Yeah.
And why would you tell Mandrell to put the kids out the window, Mr. Lumpkin?
I mean, they can go get them. They can phone me.
Why didn't they just walk out the door with you?
Yeah, they could. They ain't come out the door when I came.
And after that, what else did you do? And what happened?
By the time I started the block again, the police was there, and got me or whatever.
And what did you tell them?
They questioned me, and they had me question. They had me, then I did come out of that house, and I like, yeah, whatever.
Did you tell them what happened?
Yeah, I told them what happened with me, how I got out. They would ask me how I got out of the house, whatever, you know.
Did they ask you anything else about the house?
Yeah.
What did they ask you?
What a living room, what a bathroom, and stuff.
You said that you told me you didn't want to testify. Why is that?
And I don't. It's like you forced me to, know. And me and you talk about it.
That wasn't my question. Why did you say that?
Because I don't.
Why?
I just don't.
Are you worried about something?
I really don't even want to be. I don't want to testify now. I've been told you that. We've been talking about it. You said you don't understand and just say you don't want to testify. But now you asking me questions. You trying to be making me testify. It seems like.
Why is it you don't want to testify?
I don't want to be here. I told you I was already in the place but at the wrong time. When I wasn't even supposed to be there. I got called or whatever. I don't want to be here. Period. I already told you that.
Did you also tell me you didn't want to be on camera?
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's it.
You may cross-examine.
How you doing, Mr. Long? Tell us about the judge's prosecutor didn't want to testify. Tell us when you first got to testify.
I really plead the fifth because I really don't want to answer none of your questions or none of his questions. I told you I don't want to be here. I don't want to testify. So what I look like still answer questions for.
I have no questions for him.
Anything else, Mr. Baldwin?
So you need to speak.
Any objection?
Nah, he can be excused.
Next witness.
Donald Phillips. You raise your right hand, please, sir. You solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give the court in this matter, State versus Jamie Donnell Hood, will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Have a seat, please, sir, if you will. And pull up, kind of turn your chair towards the jury there so they can hear you right.
All right.
Would you state your name for the jury, please?
Ronaldo Gills,
Would you spell your first name, sir?
RENALDO,
And spell your last name as well.
BILLLDS,
And sir, how old are you?
40.
And you live here in Athens at this time?
Yes, sir.
And do you know Belinda Willett?
Yes, sir.
How do you know her?
She was my girlfriend, but now she's my wife.
And do you know Chandra Bass and Chandra Bass Ryder?
Yes, sir.
How do you know them?
To my stepdaughters.
That's Belinda's children?
Yes, sir.
You know Mandrell Hull and Quentin Ryder?
Yes, sir.
And how do you know them?
Well, I've been on them before, Chandra and Shay Bass, but I've been on them for a while.
Where are you originally from, sir?
I'm originally from Athens.
And you go to high school here?
Yes, sir. Clark Central.
When did you graduate?
93.
Where are you working right now, sir?
At Kubota in Jefferson.
What is that business?
They made tractors.
And prior to that, where did you work?
At Omnisource Scrap Metal Company off of Old Board Road in Athens.
And how long did you work at OmniSource?
14 years.
What did you do there?
I was a shredder operator and a crane operator.
And what time would you normally work when you worked at the Omnisource? Did you have various hours, or did you have one set?
I had different types of hours. I might go in from 5 to 8, 5 to 5, whenever they decide they need me to stay longer to do whatever needs to be done.
But generally, you went to work at 5 o'clock in the morning?
Yes, sir.
And you indicated you lived here in Athens at this time.
Yes, sir.
Was there a time in March of 2011 that you lived outside of Athens?
Yes, sir.
Where did you live?
I lived in Lawrenceville off Cotton Avenue.
And who did you live with?
My wife now was just Belinda Willoughby.
Before that, did y'all live in Athens?
I can't remember.
Well, after that, y'all moved back to Athens.
Yes, sir.
About how long did y'all live in Lawrenceville?
About 3 years.
Let me ask you, if I can, the defendant, Jamie Donnell Hood, did you know him prior to March of 2011?
Yes, sir.
How did you know him?
We was neighbors in the neighborhood called Paul.
Was that when you were growing up?
Yes, sir.
And are you and the defendant same age?
No, sir. I'm a little bit older than James.
Did you know some of his family better than he did, knowing him?
I knew his family real well, as well as they knew my family.
And did he have any siblings that were around your age?
Who, Jamie?
Yes, sir.
Not that I can recall.
Okay. Now, let me ask you, if I can, back in March of 2011, particularly that week involving March 21st up to Monday the 21st up to Friday the 25th. During that particular week, did you hear something about the officers being shot and what may have happened to Jadon Brooks?
Well, I had got an alert on my phone where the cop had been killed in Athens. And, when I looked at it, it says Jamie Hood, had a picture of Jamie Hood face.
And about when was that?
I think that was like, maybe it was that Tuesday, I think, when it happened. I think it was somewhere right around there.
How were you able to get those alerts, I guess, sir?
I signed up for the Athens online, I guess that's the Athens newspaper or whatever it is. I had downloaded it, and it'll send you an alert when something goes on in Athens.
Now, during that time, y'all living in Lawrenceville, you were working at the Omnisource?
Yes, sir.
And where was Belinda working?
At Wendy's.
On Prince Avenue?
On Prince Avenue, yes, sir.
And with y'all living in Gwinnett County, did y'all come up here in separate vehicles generally, or did y'all ever ride together?
Well, we'll leave my truck at her daughter's house, and we'll take the charge because my truck tends to drink a little more gas than her car did.
And where was her daughter's house?
Creekstone.
And which daughter was that?
Shay Best.
Shay Andre Best?
Yes, sir.
And she was living there with who?
Mandrill Hope.
They had a child at that time?
Yes, sir. Kayla Hope.
And so you said that you would leave your truck there and drive her Charger. Tell us about that. Did she go to work the same time you did? Did y'all come up here? How did that work?
No, sir. She had to be, well, that day she was off, and I just asked her would she ride down with me, because I didn't want to ride back by myself. And she was like, all right, yes, she would. So we took the Charger, and the only thing we do when we got to Shay House, I just parked her car and jumped in my truck. And we got down here about 4:30 that morning. And I just switched cars and got in my truck and went to work.
And that morning, was that Thursday, March 24th?
Yes, sir.
And at that time, when y'all came up here, you parked the car. Did you see where she went as you were getting in your truck?
Yes, sir. She went and knocked on the door, and when I seen her go in, I pulled up.
And why would she go inside? Did she not have to go to work then, or she have to go to work
No, she was off that day.
She was off that day.
Yes, sir.
And so after watching her go inside, you got in your truck and did you go to work?
Yes, sir.
Did you see her during the day at all?
I saw her, I want to say around 12:30, 1:30 when I went to lunch. I kept calling her phone over and over from 10 to, it was time for me to go to work, but she never answered. But then later, I think it was around 12:30, 1:30 that she answered it, and I asked her was she coming to eat with me. And then when she told me she had a real bad headache, but she ended up coming anyway.
And do you remember where y'all ate it all, or how did that happen?
I want to say we ate at Subway. Either Subway or McDonald's that day.
And did you eat at the restaurant, or did you take it back to work, or do you remember it all?
Well, I can see that she wasn't feeling too good, and I just told her I'd just take it back to work with me. And she left and I left different ways.
Did you go back to work at that time?
Yes, I went back to work, but then I wanted to make sure she was okay. But then I left work again and I went by Creekstone, and I seen her car pull back up in there, and I was like, she must be all right. And I just wanted to make sure she got back safely.
And then you went back to work at that time?
And I went back to work at that time.
And what time did you get off that day?
5 o'clock.
Before you got off, did you talk to her anymore on the phone or otherwise?
No, sir.
And after you got off, where did you go?
I went to the store up the street from the store off of Old Bar Road, that gas station up there. I bought a Black and Mild, and then I went to pick her up
Where did you go to pick her up?
from Creekstone's apartment.
Was that for y'all to go back to Gwinnett County?
Yes, sir. Well, I talked to her on my way when I got out there, and I asked her was she ready, and she said she'll be ready when I got there.
And so, when you got there, tell us what happened.
But when I pulled up and backed the truck up, she was coming out of the apartment, but she didn't have her shoes on. So I was like, well, let's go get your shoes, and I can speak to my grandbaby, Michaela, and before we go. And she said, all right. So we walked back to the apartment.
Both of you walked back in the apartment?
Yes, sir.
And you, after walking back in the apartment, did you tell the jury what you saw and what happened?
Well, when I walked back to the apartment, I was looking down at something. I don't know what I was looking down for. But by the time I got to the doorway of the apartment, Belinda turned around and said, baby, calm down. And I asked her, why the hell I got to calm down for? And she said, don't be mad. So I said, all right, I mean, what's the deal? But then some said, look up past her, and I looked past her, and I seen a guy standing with a hat in the corner of the apartment. And I just like, who is that? And she said, baby, just calm down. And then I looked down a little farther, and I seen the gun tucked to the side. And that's when she said, baby, it's Jamie Hood. And that's when I pushed her out in front of me.
What'd you do at that time?
I went towards Mr. Hood,
And what happened?
and he pulled the gun up.
What did he do with the gun?
He pointed at the little child that was in the car seat,
And which child was that?
the Zion rider.
When he did that, did he say anything?
He said, bro, don't make me do this. And I just stopped.
And then what happened?
Then I just went down and sat down.
Where did you sit down, Mr. Billups?
On the couch. I think I was between Matt Hull and Dion Ryder.
Is that Quentin Dion Rod?
Yes, sir.
Where was Belinda?
She was in the back room. Her and
How did she-
husband was in the back room.
Who else was in the back room?
Shay and her other daughter and me.
She done Janine?
Yes, sir.
And where were the children?
I always tell Zion, the little baby in the car seat, was the only one in the front, but the rest of them was in the back. Michaela was in the back.
How did Belinda appear when you saw her at that time?
I can tell that she really been crying real hard.
And Mr. Billups, while y'all were in that living room, where was the defendant Jamie Hood and where was that gun?
He was in the corner of the apartment where he had everybody in front of him.
Do you still have the gun?
Yes, sir.
And basically what happened in the living room when you first got there?
Well, when I first got there, like I said, I just saw him in the corner of the apartment, and I pushed my wife off to the side, and he had the gun pointed at the grandson. It was a design rod.
After you sat down,
I just didn't say nothing to nobody.
where was the defendant at that time?
Still in the corner of the apartment with the gun.
How long did this go on, Mr. Billups?
It went on for a while. He made sure he kept good distance away from me with the gun.
And what else happened, I guess, there in the living room or in that apartment as the day and evening went on?
Me and him talked, and after a while, for a period of time, we talked, and he kept telling me that he didn't know that was my family, but he knew that was my girlfriend because I kept blowing her phone up, and he finally happened to look at her phone, and he saw my picture on the front of her phone calling her. But then, all that time, I asked them what happened. They said they had been in the bathroom in the club for all that time till I kept calling my wife's phone, and he finally saw that it was me calling. Then he let everybody out of the tub.
And did you remain in that living room rest of that evening?
No, sir. I kept back and forth to the living room, from the living room to the bedroom where my wife was.
What were you doing in the bedroom?
Checking on her and the kids.
And were you there all the way through the next evening when the surrender happened?
Yes, sir.
And did you come out when that surrender happened, sir?
Yes, sir.
And all that time, from the time you got there until that evening of the surrender, where were you during that time?
From the living room to the bedroom, and then after he seen all the cops outside, he made the rest of the guys, all of us, go into the bedroom, and he barricaded the door with mattress and stuff that was in the bedroom.
And at some point, sir, during that 2-day period, from the time you got there after work until the surrender there, did you speak to him? Did he ever speak to you at all about different events?
Talking about Mr. Hood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, he said, he talked to me about him and Mr. Howard got to fighting over the gun, and the gun went off. And he just kept apologizing that he was sorry that Buddy Crispin got killed in the process of it, but he wished it was Tony Howard that died.
Now tell us about what you recall him saying about how him and Tony Howard were fighting over a gun.
I don't recall all of it, but I just know that when he said they got pulled over, He said, they didn't have to go down like that. As Tony Howard window slammed his head onto the car. And that's when everything went off then.
You said Tony Howard slammed his head down on the car?
Yes, sir.
And did he tell you anything else about what happened after that?
He just said when Tony got to fighting over the gun went off. He shot Tony, and he just took off running.
Did he say what happened after that?
No,
He
sir.
took off running?
No, sir.
Did he say how the other officer was shot or not?
No, sir.
Did he say anything at all about Jadon Brooks?
Later on, he had told me that he had lured Jadon out to his mom's house, and him and some old boys, and they were going to boil some water, and if he didn't put his hands right, they were going to throw the hot water on him.
Did he say why he was doing that?
He wanted the friend, Ken Campbell.
Did he say what happened after getting Jadon over there?
He just said, he told Jadon to get his fat, you know what, in the trunk of the car, him and the other guys that was with him. But he didn't really say much else about it.
Did he say anything at all about Jadon and him getting out? Was there a discussion about that?
Yeah, he said he had Jadon in the trunk of the car, but I guess he had been gone so long he didn't realize that his Cadillac had the safety latch on it inside the trunk of it. And he said, I don't think he know that the car back end went down and he seen the trunk pop up. And he said when he jumped out without the gun. So by the time he reached back in for the gun, he said Jadon Brooks was halfway down the street running.
Did he say where he went after that?
No, sir. He said he did shut the trunk and sped off.
You remember him saying anything about Omari that you heard?
Well, I heard he told me bits and pieces. He just told me that Morgan didn't have to die like that. Only thing he had to do is just tell what Ken Campbell was.
Did he ever tell you anything at all about after shooting the officers about how he got away at all?
No, sir. He didn't ever tell me that I recall.
You remember him saying anything at all about a lady carjacking?
Yes, he said he carjacked a lady for her car, that silver car that he said that I saw on the news, that it came up on the news. He said that's the car that he carjacked the lady for.
Did he say where he was from that time until he got over to Creekstone?
He said he traveled through the woods during the time that they was looking for him. He said he swam across a lake that was in the woods, and he got some clothes from somewhere and stole a bike and rode the rest of the way to that side of town.
Did he say what he was going to do on that side of town, or do you remember?
He said he was looking for some people that was connected, some family members that was connected to Ken Campbell.
Did he say what he was looking for them for?
He said maybe they might know where he is. If they didn't, then they were going to die too.
Mr. Billups, on that Friday afternoon at some point, was there a discussion about him surrendering or turning himself in?
Well, yes, that Friday, but it wasn't his decision. It was a decision I brought to him that this is going on long enough, and it's not going to keep going on like this.
And you told him that?
Yes, sir.
So what happened? What did he say and what happened at that point?
He said, well, before just go down there, and he said he just like to had some fried chicken from Popeye and a whole lot of biscuits from Popeye.
So what happened then?
When the food came back, I said, well, it's time to call. And he said, well, go ahead. And I called the little hotline that they had on one of those papers.
What paper?
I wanted to say one of the little wanted paper. I think that's what it was, one of the wanted papers that had that hotline on it that you can call.
And did you call that number?
Yes, sir.
And after calling that number, what did you do with your phone?
I talked to, I think it was a lady. I talked to her for a while, then she put us on with another guy that was in charge. And I guess after a while, she kept asking a lot of questions. And I kept answering, but then he got mad and said, let me see the phone. And then he took the phone, and then he started hollering and telling the lady, this Jamie Hood. And they went on back and forth for a while.
And what do you recall him saying or doing, I guess, while he was on the phone and you said getting upset?
Cussing and calling her a bitch and a whole lot of stuff. I'm sorry for saying that.
And at some point, after all that, did Quentin and Mandrell leave with the children?
Yes, a couple of hours before everything went down. He wanted to get the kids out of the apartment.
And how did that go down?
Well, he actually was like, Jamie Hood was like, well, I'd rather get these kids out just in case if that don't go down right. These kids won't get hurt.
And so, how did they wind up leaving?
He let them out before the police ever came down, before the end of the police.
Who took them out?
Mandrell and Dion Ryan. Quentin Ryan.
And you said that you were there at the time of the surrender.
Yes, sir.
Did you walk out at that time?
Yes, sir. I was the first one that opened the door and came out.
And before y'all came out, what happened inside? What was done or said?
He apologized for what he did for holding us, and he said he hoped that there ain't no bad blood between us for what's going down. And that was it.
Now, in that video of your surrender, there's an idea of you not having a shirt on.
No, sir. I just thought it would be best for us to take our shirt off, the guys, so they won't think we had no weapon on us.
I see. And so when you came out, what happened to y'all?
We walked out. I just heard some voices from the side telling us to lay down. I couldn't see them because it was kind of dark, and I guess they were camouflaged very good, and they just told us to stop right there where we was and lay down on the ground.
Is that what you did?
Yes, sir.
And then after the defendant, Jamie Hood, was taken into custody, you stand up and were basically at that time escorted?
Well, no, they had me and Jamie still on the ground. Everybody else was up. They had to make sure that me and Jamie, they had to make sure because I wasn't Jamie, because me and Jamie both had a bald head and a beard.
I see. And did they determine who was Jamie Hood?
Yes, sir.
After that, and then you were able to stand up?
Yes, sir.
That's all I have, Mr. Bills.
How you doing, Mr. Billups?
Good afternoon, Mr. Hood.
How long you been knowing me, Mr. Billups?
Pretty much half of your life.
Isn't it true I moved out of Emerson and moved right next door? And you were my neighbor when I moved to Paul when I left Emerson.
Yes, sir.
I was like, what, 67, 7 years old, something like that?
Around 6 or 7 years.
So you been on me since you was a little boy, so I was a little kid, right?
That's right.
All right. Mr. Miller, are you facing any charges right now?
No, sir.
So you mean to tell us you ain't got no dope charge? Have you had a dope charge on you since this March 25th, 2011?
Yes, sir.
Tell us about that dope charge you got.
No, that's not the proper way to do that. You talk about that, but there's a proper way to do things. That's what you want to do.
Yeah, I would like to be heard on that.
I would object to that question, but tell us about that. Lord, we should be very specific.
I did answer that. Mr. Miller, why was you arrested?
I was set up down in Banks County.
What were you charged with?
Possession of cocaine.
Possession of cocaine. What month was that?
I can't remember.
Well, what year was it?
It was 3 years ago or 2. Don't remember.
You know.
No, sir.
Is that the charge you got, is that causing you to come here and lie on me to the jury?
No, sir.
Or what caused you to come here and tell these lies?
No, that is not a problem.
What was the outcome of that drug charge you got?
9 years on probation, $3,500 fine, and 6 months in a detention center.
How you get probation for a drug charge like that?
Because I don't have no criminal history. I don't really have no history. That was my first charge.
Have you ever been charged with cocaine before?
Yes, sir.
Tell us about that.
I got caught. Well, the drug was on the ground. People were throwing drugs on the ground. I just got out working. I got charged for it.
So, you didn't sell the dope?
Yes, sir.
You been selling dope after March 25th, 2011, right?
No, sir.
Well, how you get a dope charge you want to sell it after March 25th, 2011?
Well, that's during your time when all this happened?
I asked you, maybe you misunderstood.
Yes, restated.
After March 25th, 2011, when you selling dope.
Yes, sir.
And that's how you caught that drug charge, right?
Yes, sir.
Did you get probation to come here and testify on me? Was that part of your plea bargain?
No, sir. They didn't know nothing about it. It was in Banks County. They ain't affiliated with Athens.
When the last time you talked to Mr. Ball about the case?
I don't remember, but it was 1, 2, 4 months before the case started.
Okay, I'm asking you, when was the last time you talked to him prior to trial? How about that?
I don't remember.
No. Have you and Mr. Malone talked about the case after March 25th, 2011?
I can't remember.
Well, what do you remember?
I don't remember a lot right now.
You understand? No comment. Are you on any type of drug or something? They called you not to remember something?
I ain't never did no drugs. I ever did in 15 years. I smoked marijuana. I ain't did no other drugs. What about yourself? Sir, yes, sir.
Are you on any type of mental health level that cause a glitch in your head that you can't remember?
No, sir, Mr. Lee.
Now, those, you have to have a good faith basis to ask certain questions. There's no good faith basis for you to ask those questions.
You say you can't remember. I want to know why. There's something wrong. There's a glitch somewhere or something. Today, you on any type of medication that cause your mind to trigger a certain way you can't recall that.
No, sir.
Are you under any type of pressure to come here and testify that cause you not to remember certain things?
No, sir.
You ain't worried about nobody imposing no sentence on you. You don't come here and say certain things.
No, sir.
5th, on March 26, 2011, you had an interview approximately 12:15 with Agent Brian Whitby and the Special Agent Mike Brooks concerning the case, is that right?
Was that after we came out of the apartment in Creekstone?
Oh, yes, sir, March 26, 2011.
Yes, sir.
Okay, tell us about the interview you had.
He asked me what happened about when we came out.
Is it true that that interview was recorded?
Yes, sir.
Now, I see you stated I done put a gun on the baby. Did you tell your agent that on March 26, 2011?
I can't recall.
Okay. Isn't it true that you did not tell the agent I put a gun on the baby in the car seat?
I can't recall.
Did Mr. Long tell you can't recall when you get stuck in the lie?
No, sir.
Well, who did?
He told me to tell the truth.
When did he tell the truth?
He
When did he tell you
told
that?
They
What
been
day?
told me to tell the truth.
Okay, well, what day did Mr. Long tell you to tell the truth?
I don't recall.
Do you drink any alcohol?
Yes, sir.
How much you have when you come to cover?
I don't drink. I don't drink during this time period. I'm supposed to be at work. I don't drink nothing during this period.
But you said don't do it with you.
I don't sell nothing now. I work.
Now, I see you stated that I took everybody's phone when you got in that apartment.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about you taking everybody's phone.
He took everybody's phone. I always tell mine because he didn't know I had one on my hip at that time.
So I didn't know you had a phone. I took everybody's phone.
Yes, sir.
Did Quentin really tell you that he recorded the confession and killed them on record?
No, sir. I didn't know nothing about no recording.
I didn't either. Okay. So, you said, isn't it true that you talked to your dad on that phone? Me, I talked to your dad on that phone with you that day.
Yes, sir.
I thought you just told the jury I knew you had a phone.
I said, you didn't know I had a phone at that time.
Okay. Well, how did me and you talk to Mr. Ron Phillips on that phone? And I knew you had a phone.
Because when I put it out and showed it to you, I had my phone. You took my phone, but my mom and dad started calling, and you seen their name. You seen it said Mr. and Mrs. Bill on the phone.
Then I talked to your dad.
Yes, sir. You told me to answer it and talk to my mom and dad.
But then I talked to Mr. Ron with them.
Yes, sir. You talked to them too.
What did me and Mr. Ron talk about?
I don't remember what y'all talked about. It was just too much stuff going on at that time to remember.
Did you tell in the truth that I told Mr. Ron what was going on? Mr. Ron knew what was going on?
I don't think he did.
Did,
No, sir.
did you tell him?
No, sir.
You talked to him on the phone.
Yes, sir.
And he didn't tell you, a lead hostage, whatever you supposed to be.
No, sir, I don't remember. I don't think I did. I tried to keep it away from him because I know my mom would find out that she already got a bad heart, so I tried to keep much of it away from her.
Okay. I see. If you recall telling agents, the G-Ran agent that I was afraid of you.
Yes, sir.
So you the big brother. I'm afraid of you.
Yes, sir.
Those questions are inappropriate, and I would object to that. You don't make those kind of comments and those kind of questions. Not like that.
Okay. Why would I be afraid of you?
Because you know that I know I can get down with these hands.
Okay. If I was so afraid, why didn't you come over there and get that gun and get that hostage situation on March 24, 2011? You so tough and wrong.
Because you know them kids wasn't in there, they probably would have been there. It wouldn't be him.
Okay, did you talk about the reward money?
Yes, we talked about it.
Did I offer you that reward money?
What am I do with the 50,000? I told you I made more than that anyway that year.
Okay, but then I offered it to you though.
No, you didn't offer it to me. You offered me to give it to your mom.
Okay, but then I offered it to you though.
But not for me.
But did you give the offer that money to anybody?
No, sir. Now besides me, you told me if I get the reward, I might give it to your mom.
Okay, but then I offered it to you though.
Yeah, but it wasn't for me. You didn't offer the 50,000 for me. You offered for your mom. It wasn't for me.
I do understand. I think you might be misunderstanding my
Your Honor,
question.
you've asked the question and answered those questions.
You left that apartment, didn't you, after your ride?
I don't remember if I did.
Isn't it true you left and you came back on your own?
I don't remember if I did.
No.
No, sir.
Do you recall seeing a newspaper? And that was $50 reward on?
I remember seeing the newspaper, but I didn't read it.
Did you want to write that thing? Did you write that newspaper?
No, I don't think I wrote it. I don't remember if I did.
Okay.
Mr. Hood.
Okay. Will you agree, but isn't it true that you left and you brought that newspaper back and some black and mild? You went and got some black and mild and brought it back, right?
I had some black and miles in the car. I don't remember bringing no newspaper back though, Mr. Hood.
Do you recall going to the store and bringing some black and mild cigars back?
I don't remember going to no store. I had some black and miles in the vehicle.
So are you telling me, but is it possible you've been so long, you've been through so much, and you forgot to left, sir?
That could be true too, Mr. Hood.
But you cannot 100% say you didn't leave and come back on your own free will.
No, sir, I cannot.
You can't because you did, is that right?
No, sir, Mr. Hood, I don't remember. I can't say if I did. I can't say if I didn't because it's been too long. I don't remember. It's a lot of stuff I don't remember now.
But you sure remember me, and your mind put a gun on a little baby.
I remember that. That's something I ain't gonna get out of my head.
Okay. Why did the district attorney tell you keep it in that over here?
No, sir. You already know.
How long did I sleep in that apartment, Mr. Billings?
Mr. Hood, you didn't sleep here because every time I try to get out that sofa to come near you, you tell me you can't sleep.
Is it possible that you forgot that I was asleep? Anything?
No, sir, I knew you want to sleep because I was trying my best to get over there to you with that gun.
So if I was sleeping, trust me, you got that old gun, right?
We only had this trial.
Okay. Did anybody else see you sleeping there while you were there?
No, sir.
You're a pretty big guy. Don't you agree with that?
Yes, sir, I agree.
Wasn't really a pretty big boy to it.
Yes, sir, I agree.
Okay. How many grown-ups was in the house?
Maybe like five or six.
Okay. And no time that the tough old big guys tried to take Jamie down.
With a 40 caliber, I don't think nobody told no one to do it like that. Not while they kids in there.
If a man showing up sleep, if just say if I was asleep, that gun on floor, what you would done?
We wouldn't have had this trial.
Okay, tell us about not having trial.
We wouldn't have had this trial.
Could you be more specific about that?
That's as far as I can go with it. We won't have this trial.
Could you be specific?
No, I cannot.
Can't be specific because, hey, you said you slept and you woke up and you let your hood up.
You know you want to sleep.
Who all left in that apartment, Mr. Billings?
Who all left?
Yes, sir.
I don't recall who all left. When I got there, everybody was in there, so I don't remember if anybody left. I was trying to attend to my wife and the rest of my grandkids that was in there crying.
You tried to tell their reward when you was.
What to do with it?
Isn't it true that you told the agent in your interview that jig, don't be no jig and quit Rick?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Isn't it true that you said to him and Chandra, they came back from the store, they obtained food, drink, cigarettes for the children? Can you hear that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Why did you just tell the jury you came because somebody left it?
I told the jury before that before you turn yourself in, you let them go get some food, some Popeye, and some food for the kids. That's why I just said.
There's about the marijuana back there too.
I don't know, Mr. Hood.
Did you smoke on that marijuana with her?
No, sir.
Did you know if I know Mr. Quentin Reed before you got there?
Yes, sir.
How did I know Mr. Quentin Reed?
He's from the east side, Hood. You moved to the east side, so I'm pretty sure you know Quentin from the east side.
How about Manny Ray?
Pretty sure you knew them too.
Was you aware that I've been at that Creekstone apartment several times before March 24, 2011?
No, sir.
So nobody never did mention Jackson had been over there?
No, sir. Anybody ever mentioned it to me? I never seen you over there when whatever.
How about it? Was you and Belinda together when she stayed right there on Sycamore Drive?
Where's the Sycamore? Is that the one behind Howard Johnson?
Yes, sir. The green apartment?
Yes, sir.
Lady?
Yes, sir.
Okay, did they stay right there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you ever see me over there at that apartment with Quentin?
I didn't see you with Quentin, but I saw you over there. You saw me over there too.
Oh, that was your wife, your girlfriend, saying it, right?
That was my girlfriend at that time, yes.
But you would agree that she was over there, we was all over there together, though?
Yes, sir.
You said you and Belinda 8 months together on March 24, 2011.
Yes, sir.
What y'all talk about on that list?
We didn't talk about that. She just said she had a real bad headache, a migraine headache, and she wasn't feeling too good.
Okay, then you see me put my hands on anybody.
No, sir.
Okay, so if I led the point of the gun as a little child in a car seat, when them other led house to jury the same thing.
No, that's not a proper question. It's a comment on what other folks may or may not say.
Okay, so I didn't, right. So, who all seen me put this gun on this baby?
I can't recall. There wasn't nobody in there but Matt and Mandrell and Dion Ryder.
So, are you telling us when I allegedly pointed the gun at a child in a car seat, Mandrell Bull and Quentin Reed sat there and seen me do that, man?
I don't know what they seen. I mean, you talked to them. I mean, did they tell you? Because I don't know. I can't tell you what. I can't speak on their behalf. I just speak what I saw.
Well, no, I haven't heard of you first.
Your Honor, but been repeatedly told not to comment.
Mr. Hood, you recall instructions? You abide by those instructions?
Yes, sir. Isn't it true that you told the agents during your interview with them that Jamie let the kid come out and rip and run and play and did not want the kid to see the dog?
Yes, sir.
So, if I let the kid come out and rip and run and play, how in the world I kept him in the back room the whole time?
Because you kept them in the back room until I came in. Once me and you started talking, and you tell me I didn't know it was your family, you started to get comfortable and let those kids come out for a little while. If they weren't out long.
Okay. Now, tell us about the times they was out ripping and running and playing. Tell the jury about that.
You just let them out long enough to rip and run and get something to drink and eat a little bit, and he said that's enough of the kid time. It's time to go back. It's time to get this shit serious. Go back in the room.
Okay. You would agree that you told Agent James did not want the kid to see the gun?
Yes, sir, you did.
Okay, if I didn't want the kid to see the gun, how in the world I could pull the gun on the baby in a child seat?
He wouldn't remember. He was a baby.
You wasn't a baby though, were you?
No, sir. Of course not.
You might forget like a child, but you wasn't a baby, were you?
Your Honor,
sir.
that's an improper question. Those kind of questions he knows are improper.
That is correct.
Hey, did I offer you a chance to leave?
No, sir.
So you never told him Agent James offered you a chance to leave?
Not that I can recall, but I don't remember. I don't think you offered me no chance to leave.
Isn't it true I told you to go on to leave, but you said you weren't going to leave the one?
Now, that might be a possibility, yeah. I wasn't going to leave them behind, I know.
Okay, so say that you're a lady in the hospital. I can offer you a chance to leave. You said you didn't want to leave. Tell us about that.
I can recall if he told me I could leave, but if he did, I wouldn't want to leave my fiance and my grandkids in there by themselves with him. It wasn't going to happen.
You said I didn't know you had your phone there, right?
No, at that time you didn't.
Who all did you talk to or text that day? Or those days you was in that apartment?
When I finally sold you my phone, the person I talked to was my mom and dad and my supervisor at work, Michael McGraw.
Okay. Let's talk about you and Mr. McGraw talking to Texas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I talked to him and I texted him.
What time? Do you recall when you texted? Was y'all text each other? Do you recall what time that was?
No, sir. I just don't remember the time, but I know everybody at work was concerned that I haven't called in and I haven't showed up for work.
Isn't it true that I told you to call your boss man and tell you the hospital? Ain't that true? I told you to call the test. I told you to do it.
You told me that, yes, you did. At the end, yes, you did.
Why would I tell you to call your boss man and tell you to text?
He called me and he told me to answer, and I told you it was my boss man. You told me to go ahead and answer.
Isn't it true that you told him the guy the police hates? You texted him and told him, hey, the guy the police looking for got me, right?
Yes, sir.
I told you to tell him that too, so you didn't get fired, right?
No, sir. I just told him that anyway off my own. You didn't tell me to tell him.
He offered to call the police, didn't you, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
And you told him don't do it, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Well, why do you, if he offered to call the police to get you out, why do you tell him don't do it?
Because he already said, you see one police car ride by his house and stop, that everybody in was dead.
But you told him don't tell no more, bro.
Yes, sir.
You also told him that you was okay. Hold on, excuse me, I want you to say. Did he ask you he asked you, were you okay?
Yes, sir.
When he asked you that you were okay, what did you respond to tell him?
I said, I'm good.
Okay, so if you're in a hostage situation, how can you be okay?
I'm talking. I wouldn't leave.
Exactly. You was okay because you went on real hostage, isn't that right?
I couldn't leave when we wanted to, so of course we were real hostile. When you gonna let her go?
I thought you said you told me you the one decided to not turn myself in. I thought that was what you said.
I told you that this right here been going on long enough. It's over with.
Okay. Well, why didn't you do that when you first come in that house?
The way your mind was, I don't know where you was at that time. It took a while for you to come because you were pacing so much with that gun. I don't know where you were.
Well, I thought you said I was sitting down with the gun in the corner.
Dude, I ain't say you sat down in the corner. I said you was standing in the corner.
Okay, if I was standing in the corner with the gun, how could I be pacing all over the floor with a gun if I'm in the corner?
What you mean? The floor ain't big enough for you to pace in?
Well, I'm just find out.
I'm just trying to help you to find out. Yes, sir.
So you, how many times did you tell him that you was okay?
I can't recall. I think it was one time, maybe. I don't remember the exact how many times I told him I was okay.
Possibly more than one time. Yes, you forgot, sir.
If you got to say that how many times I told him, then that's how many times I told him.
You got that?
Good.
Okay. During that alleged hostage negotiation,
Yes, sir.
you talked to your mom on that phone, didn't you?
I think I talked to my mom and my dad.
Was it there at the police station when you talked to them?
Yes, yeah, they said they came and took him to the police station.
Okay, tell us about that.
They said that we was being held hostage. Well, they didn't tell them why, but they just told them, y'all need to come with us for your safety.
Okay. Is it true that when I got ready to turn myself in, I told everybody in Harper called their family and loved one to tell them that they're hostile.
I don't remember you saying that, look.
You don't?
No, sir.
Well, is it safe to say that everybody in that house was calling their family and friends and telling them, hey, he got a hostage, they were texting everybody?
No, sir. I don't recall if they did.
Okay. Is it possible you just forgot about it? That it could have had happened, you just forgot?
I don't remember. It could be.
Did at any time during your interview or any time after March 25th, 2011, did anybody ever insinuate that you was having me evade the police?
Yes, sir.
Tell us about that.
They said, Mr. Hood said that we want hostage, that we was hiding him out.
What do you mean?
That's what the street came and said. I don't know. I know what the truth was.
So you were telling the jury that people have been accusing you of having me evade the police?
They said Mr. Hood put the word out, said that we had him. He wasn't no hostage.
Did the police or GBI ever ask you, hey, what you want to do with Jackie when he put you down in that trunk?
No, sir. I don't know. I don't remember.
Is it possible they could have, and your memory just in the lapse or something, that you can't just remember everything, sir?
I don't remember. You can repeat the question and let me understand it.
Okay, sir. Did anybody in law enforcement ever insinuate that you or Quentin Reed or anybody else helped me put you down and look at the trunk of that car?
No, sir. No, you guys never told us that. No, sir.
Okay. Did they ever ask y'all, hey, because you could have left that apartment, y'all could have took Jamie? Did they ever ask you a question like that?
No, sir. They never said, but I kind of figured they might have thought we did.
Okay. Why would you figure that GBI think you have to be evade the police?
Come on. I mean, you know how it go. I mean, I guess that's the way they think till they find out the fact and the truth.
Did that make you apprehensive in any type of way because you might have felt like the police thought you helped me evade the police?
No, sir.
But you had it on your mind?
No, sir. Not helping you evade the police, I wasn't.
I understand, but you thought, I thought you stated that you thought that they were saying that you was helping me evade the police.
Answer
Yes, sir.
the proper question.
Okay. Why would you have in your mind? Why would you have in your mind that the police probably saying that you helped me evade the police?
It just something that came across my mind. I mean, I guess that's the way someone think until they find out the truth.
Was it a guilty conscience?
No, sir. Not at all.
Was it that you knew you were helping me? Isn't it true that y'all helping me turn myself in? Isn't it true that you went on real hostage?
Yes, sir. We were real hostage, but we weren't helping you turn yourself in. We want this to be over with, but we weren't helping you to lose no officer, period. You don't stand like I said. You stand on your own. I'm not helping you get away from nobody.
You wouldn't have no reason to cover it up,
No, sir. None at all. Don't have none.
Mr. Martin ain't threatening you with no prison time, have you?
Prison time for what?
Helping me evade the police.
No, sir.
Did you have a federal, who caught you there? Was your charge is federal or was they state?
It was state.
So, who controlled the state?
I don't know.
All right. Now, when we were talking to your mom on the phone, isn't it true that you told her, Mom, that Trent been bullshit? It's supposed to be over with a long time ago. And if we were white, they would have been took care of this shit. Isn't it true that you told the agent that? You told your mom they gonna get caught.
I don't remember.
You need me to rephrase it or state it again? So
Rephrase it, state it
I
again.
said, isn't it true that you told your mom when you were talking to her on the phone when she was at the jail? That Trent, you said, Mom, that Trent been bullshit. It's supposed to have been over with a long time ago. And if we were white, they would have been took care of this shit. Isn't it true that you told the agent, you told your mom that on the phone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, could you explain that if we were white, they would have been took care of? Why do you say that?
Because I feel like that day with the negotiation when we was getting ready
to be let out. I just feel that they took their time to really handle the situation by getting news people out there to really to get this case over with, get us out of there safely. I think they just really took their time. I think they just wanted you to just come out the way you wanted to come out and let the hospice go first, when the only thing you really wanted was the news people to cover it so you can, for yourself, to feel safe when you walk out that door.
Okay. Is it true that during that phone conversation, your mom said, I don't want them to shoot him, and you stated, that's why we're gonna make sure that ain't gonna happen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you telling your mom that we're gonna make sure they don't shoot Jamie. Explain that.
Despite what all went on, I'm still not gonna sit there and let them just kill you coming out of that house. Despite that, me, you might have differences now. I still look at you as the kid that's dope to me, and I'm still gonna try to help you get out of that apartment alive with everybody else intact.
I thought you said you wanted help.
That one, we were going out. I helped you get out.
No further questions this time, but I have a subject to repost.
I don't have any redirect on this time. I have to be excused this time. It says the recall is not appropriate.
Thank you.
Maybe we take a short recess.
Short recess now.